Hey everybody, this is Bridget Danner, and I'm here with my friend Jane Barlow Christensen, right? Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's right. A mouthful.
Yes, who's the founder or refounder of Barlow Herbal. And I met Jane because I heard her on a podcast and she was so phenomenal. So we had her on our podcast, but not every one of you have met her. And we actually started to carry some of her products in our shop. So I wanted to get to know Jane and her products. And I also want to share a story that let's start out with this one, Jane. Jane just put out a newsletter about Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I was like, yes, because I think like a lot of us in the natural health world, these kind of mainstream gimmicky awareness months that don't seem to really produce anything just kind of bug us. And you said something about it, which is a heck of a lot better than what I was doing about it. So I wonder if you can just share a little bit. I mean, you've worked with clients with cancer. I'm sure you have I know you have a big heart for cancer. It's not that you don't care, but how are we placing the wrong emphasis, Jane? And where should we be placing it?
Oh, that's a whole bunch of big questions right there. So basically, every October is, as everyone knows, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it's been like that for a long time. And the whole, not just breast cancer, but cancer awareness, cancer research, the cancer fund runs, it drives me crazy. And it's not because I don't care, or I have not had family members or close friends affected by cancer, because I have. Everybody has. But I think that the way we are going about it is wrong. And I think that the cancer industry is now this feel-good thing. Like if you go on a fun run with your girlfriends, you're all wearing pink ribbons and you're supporting breast cancer awareness. In fact, what spurred this is at the first of the month, so we're October 11th, the first of the month, I was on a Delta flight. And there's the Delta, flight attendants with their pink ribbons. And sometimes they wear pink. They just got new uniforms, so they've stopped really wearing all the pink that they were wearing. But they go through the aisles, and they usually will peddle pink lemonade to sell, to all be donated toward breast cancer awareness. And on this one, they were not only doing that, but they were having the flight attendants walk through the aisle saying, "Save the tatas, donate money for breast cancer awareness." And it's like, I sat there in my seat and I just started fuming, because we are handling this whole cancer situation wrong. And it's not even that the people who are oncologists, cancer doctors, cancer nurses, I have a very good friend who is an oncology nurse, and over the years, I can almost barely talk with her anymore, because she's so set in that model. And I'm so set in what I believe. And it's not like trying to have a fight with each other, but this flight triggered me. And I was thinking, all right, I feel like I just need to let something off my chest. So I sat down and I just was writing on my computer, and I know these statistics of cancer is huge business. And if you think that you step into the model of cancer when you get diagnosed with cancer, if you think that they're there to help you heal truly, then you're mistaken. Mm-hmm. And I know those are really strong words, but to me, it's not like they don't care. They're very caring people, but they are doing the best with what they know. And a very good friend of mine, about 3 weeks ago, got diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer. And she's only a couple years younger than me. And she's scared enough that she's going through all the traditional therapies. And her oncologist, who is actually a good friend of hers, said to her, "I know you're scared about this, but we don't have any other options." So the thing is, they're not taught anything. They're not taught how to change your diet, change your lifestyle. Stop eating the stuff that's causing you to cancer. Anyway, I got so worked up, Bridget. I was just like, so that's what you got. And I got so much feedback from it, and people were just like, yes, and thank you. And there was not one person who said, "Well, you're kind of full of shit." I mean, I didn't have.
Yeah, you're talking your own tribe. So it's, in a way, probably if you put
that's
that
true.
on Facebook, you might get a little more.
You're completely right. But there are times when I put things out, even to my own tribe, where I get a little bit of pushback. Not always, but you know, to me, it's like, we need to stop feeding this horrible beast that is the cancer industry. It's too profitable for the research that's going on to actually find a cure, because it's too profitable. So, you know,
yeah, and the whole cure thing, I mean, the cancer is so multifactorial. Like, there isn't just like a magic pill that's ever going to make it go away. I think there's probably a little bit of cancer research, like in immune drugs or something that's interesting.
right.
But most of it, you know, with the cutting and the chemo, yeah. And I'm just like, where is this money going to? And like you, I'm like, this is not really fixing the root of the problem at all.
Yeah.
So,
And honestly, I think, Bridget, that the very first thing people need to realize is the power they have over their lifestyle changes. Because when you make serious lifestyle changes, and I'm not talking about you half-heartedly try to start juicing and you don't really change anything else, or you have to make sometimes some super drastic changes to turn things like cancer around. But here's the deal. We all have cancer cells. We all have viruses, we have parasites, we all have Candida spores in us. But whether or not they express all of these things it does depend on our immune system. And your immune system depends on a few things, like how much beneficial bacteria is your body able to handle or have without you destroying it with antibiotics or stress or just bad foods and bad lifestyle choices, because a lot of that is where that comes from. So if you can get your immune system on track, and your immune system is like your little soldiers. They're basically your army protecting you against these things. So if you think, you know, oh, I've been diagnosed with cancer, well, it's not a death sentence. We all have abnormal cancer cells. So to me, the one big piece of this puzzle is lifestyle. That's huge, and it is multifaceted. And I'm not saying that you step into a surgeon's office who can, like I said in my newsletter, remove a tumor and save your life. I mean, thank heavens we have modern medical technology that can hopefully someday blend with natural things and people can wake up. But then the other piece of this, which is, I totally love this, is we have a lot more control over our genetic expression than we know. Like, we're taught that we are a victim of our genes. Like, if you're born with a certain genetic expression, that you're a victim. You can't change it. But that's not true. We are not a victim of our genes. Most of us, like 95% of us, can actually change what our genes express. Like, that's power. That is so powerful. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we won't talk the whole time about cancer, but I guess I just wanted to get you fired up again.
Get me off my soapbox. Yeah.
No, because it's so true. And I think that in my community, people who are going to find this, you know, they are living a natural lifestyle and aware, and they might be feeling some of the same things. Like, what do I do with this breast cancer awareness month? Like, how do I process this, you know? And just to know, like, you're not alone, and like just recognizing the insanity of how we look at chronic disease.
You know what I do, Bridget? I just quietly opt out. Like, if someone asks me to donate, I won't donate to cancer awareness or certain, there are some cancers I truly believe deserve research, but people need to do their due diligence instead of just jump in. So I just quietly opt out, and I opt into the things that I know are going to make a difference. So it's not about, you know, just making people feel bad, because this is something that really affects people. And
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like, if I'm at the grocery store checkout and they say, oh, do you want $1 for this or $1 for that? You know, sometimes, like, there was one recently, do you want $1 to grow gardens for kids at schools? 100%, I'll give you $20, you know, like, right. That's making a difference in the core problem that we're talking about here. So yeah, it's not about, and I think people can, consider that too. It's not that you're not being generous to not like opt into certain things. There's just other things, other ways to invest. So let's talk a bit about your company. It's Barlow Herbal, started by your dad. You do have, I know we can't say tree, but you do have some things that could be beneficial for cancer in your herbal tinctures. You've got a parasite product that I love, and I've sent several people to your website. Let's talk about that a bit, and then I want to get into your non-toxic skincare. So let's talk about the parasites.
Yeah, so I mean, most people, because we normally don't see any type of parasite action, it's not something that we think about. I do think it is becoming a little bit more brought to people's minds. There's a whole, this is where awareness is good that it comes in, because there's an awareness of Candida, which is kind of people are realizing that the sugar they eat, where there's sugar everywhere, sugar feeds Candida. Candida is basically yeast overgrowth. We all have Candida, but whether or not it gets overgrowth and out of control is another story. But if you have an addiction to sugar, you've been on a lot of antibiotics, which destroys your beneficial bacteria, and you haven't replaced them, then not only do you have probably a Candida overgrowth, but you probably have parasites, because parasites and Candida like love each other. It just provides the perfect environment for parasites to thrive, because there's just nothing to combat them. So what I find is not only does this should give people incentive to really, clean up their lifestyle, take beneficial, good probiotics, but to do prevention. So what I've been doing, and because I grew up with a dad who was a botanist, I mean, that was like a super huge gift for me and my siblings. I've just been in the rhythm ever since I was an adult, just doing a parasite cleanse for prevention. So like every January and every July. So it doesn't have to be, you can do it once a year if that feels right to you. But I just go through this. So this is a liquid tincture that is one of my dad's original formulas. It has black walnut hulls, wormwood, cloves, and quasi chips. And those all are very well known individually for their power in anti-parasitic properties. And together, the way this is blended is a very powerful liquid tincture, and it's simple to take. It's safe for kids.
It comes with a second tincture, right? The cleanse pack. What's the second one?
Yeah. So so basically the way my dad formulated, there's the formula with the 4, we call that Clarkia. And then there's a concentrated extract of echinacea. And echinacea, everyone knows about echinacea, but the reason it's in this protocol is because when you take a liquid echinacea, it goes into your body and absorbs into the bloodstream quickly, and it prepares your body for the actions of the herbs that are in the other one.
The Clarkia.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and actually, so that's echinacea, but I think the
echinacea is like before that, right? And then there's Clarkia plus
the mycoside.
Mycoside. What's in
mycoside? Is anti-Candida. So sorry, I was getting.
Okay.
So those two, the cleanse pack brings the Candida formula and the parasite formula together, which is really awesome because you can take them at the same time and go after those two issues that feed off each other. You can go after them very effectively. Yeah, sorry, my brain.
Oh no, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I'll just freak everyone out a bit that I took those. I emailed you about this. I took those and I passed parasites the next day. Like big long. And I knew I had a parasite issue, so I wasn't like shocked or anything. But I'm just gonna propose, Jane, that we start Parasite Awareness Month.
I love it. Okay.
Let's get some little pins that look like a little gross parasite, and everyone will have to wear those.
Well, and here's the deal. This is the deal. When people start doing research about parasites, because I talk to so many people, and I've had people contact me for many years. Do not let it freak you out, because we are biology, and we have a lot of times microscopic parasite action that goes on. And the goal is to keep it under control. The goal is to prevent it from getting out of control. Yeah. So yeah, and I will tell you, and since you're disclosing information, every time I do a parasite cleanse, I see something in my stools every time. And it might be just microscopic, like might be a little film on the on the water of the toilet.
Okay.
But every single time I do, because I don't eat perfect. I mean, I do eat very clean, but I don't eat perfect. I eat things I know I shouldn't. And, I have stress that might lower my immune system as well. So that's why keeping up on top of this stuff is really good. So yes, October is Parasite Awareness Month.
For $10, you can buy a little pin of a little ugly parasite. That would really be a conversation starter.
That would be a total Yeah, I wouldn't probably suggest that because it would, but the thing is,
I'm joking,
people,
but
yeah, this is too, that what I was going to finish saying, what I just remembered, is when you think about having parasites, some people get so wrapped up in it that they can't let it go. And they can literally feel them inside their body, crawling in their skin. And I think that a lot of that is like they're freaking themselves out with it. And it's not about that. It's about getting on top of the issue and then live your life, you know?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, a friend of mine who's really successful functional nutritionist, she doesn't even really treat like bugs in particular. We can get into pros and cons of that, but like she's hardcore, you know, whole foods, like broth. And like, she's like, I think, you know, it's like you said, if you do all that, they don't have a good environment to live in. So you're going to, if they're still there, the population's going to be held at bay. So
Exactly.
yeah, we all have them. And I tell you what, it feels very good to get them out to me.
Yeah. I mean, I have to tell you, when I really started, you know, I didn't follow my dad's stuff when I was throughout most of my 20s, just because, you know, you're young like that. And you just think, you know, you think your parents are wacky and you know more than they do. And I don't think any generation really ever skips. I think it's pretty rare. But when I really first started getting serious about doing this cleanse twice a year, I saw some things too that kind of freaked me out. And I was so happy they were out.
Yeah. I'm actually due, so I need to go do mine again.
Yeah, it's super simple. It's super simple.
Yeah, it's really simple. And yeah, I referred a guy from England to your site recently. So hopefully he got the cleanse back. Yeah, nice and easy. I want to talk next about your skincare. And you were telling me before we came on, it wasn't ever something you planned to carry. It's just you were experimenting and looking for yourself. Oh, maybe I'll go grab it while we're talking about it. But you sent me some very generously to try.
Yeah.
And I fell in love. So we have it in our shop, but people really aren't familiar with it. So I wanted to give some education on this magical goodness.
Yeah, so we never market it. We don't really ever market our stuff anyway, because when my dad first started the company when I was a teenager, he mostly sold to doctors because his formulas, like we just talking about parasites and Candida and viruses and maybe doing some cancer prevention. I mean, those was an education curve with herbal medicine. So that was my dad's kind of core line. So when he passed away, it's been almost 21 years. His company died with him, and 4 years later I restarted it. So he never had any skincare stuff, except he made a skin salve that was like for skin wounds and skin infections. He made one product for skin. And so a few, like 7 years after I restarted, I was getting close to 50, and I thought, oh, I should start using something on my skin. So I started just playing around with my oils and herbs and the butters and essential oils. And I have 8 sisters besides myself. So I would make up these little formulations of stuff and put them in little bottles. And I would send them to my sisters and say, hey, you know, what do you think about this? I'm really liking it, but I can't really quite tell. And for a couple of years, I did this. I would tweak the formula. I would infuse some more herbs into an oil, because in the final product, there's 6 herbs that are infused into an oil, which we still do all that by hand. We infuse all the oils. And so this formula, what happened is then all my sisters were, after I kind of got like, okay, this is it. This is the perfection right here. And then they would, you know, I need refills. And then they started sharing with all their friends. And it's not like I just have one sister. I have like 8 sisters, and it started to mushroom. And like I was telling you before we started recording, you know, I couldn't just keep like giving everybody all of the serum because it was just too much money. So I brought it out it's been almost 11 years. And I never expected it to do anything. I just thought, well, my sister's friends can buy this from me. And now it's like one of the most popular products I make, because there's no chemicals, there's no preservatives, there's no parabens. It's oil-based. It comes in, I have 5. So initially I did lavender essential oil because I thought, who doesn't love lavender, right? And then I had people who said, well, I don't like lavender. Do you have something else? So then I brought out lemongrass. And for a long time, it was just lavender and lemongrass. And then about 2 years ago, I added Ylang Ylang and Bergamot essential oil. So there were 4. And then, of course, because I'm never satisfied and I feel like I'm a mad scientist in my lab of oils and butters, I started thinking, well, I need, now I'm like, so
now you're 60, you need the next level.
right. So like now I'm 57. Now I'm closer to 60 than I am 50. So last year I had like black cumin seed oil and then I did frankincense essential oil and lime peel essential oil. So this year I brought out Glowing Vitality Gold because it's got all these upgraded oils. They're all really expensive. And again, I just shared it with my sister. It was because I'm like, nobody's going to want to pay this much money for an upgraded oil, but that's
they do. Nice.
Yeah. So the only thing that preserves this is the addition of vitamin E, because the vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant and it's really, really good for your skin. So the shelf life is not indefinite, but this is silky and smooth and it will heal a sunburn. Like you can take any of the scents in them and rub it on sunburn, and the next day it won't blister, it won't. So it's very healing. It's not just for your face, because I mostly use it on my face and my neck, but yeah, it's heaven in a bottle.
It is. And when you sent it, I didn't really know what it's for because it's pretty big. So I guess I figured it was for the body. I don't know. I was just putting it on everywhere. And I love the Ylang Ylang. Like I love that scent. But yeah, I just got another bottle. And I just feel like it helps for like dark spots. Trying to think. Yeah, it's very light. I think it's really important to add oil to your skin, especially your face as you're aging. But maybe you could tell us some of like the special properties, because I think that's what it's been hard for me to explain.
Yeah. Okay. So probably the best part about this serum is the addition of the herb infused oils, because this, to me, herbs are so powerful, but a lot of times they're not added on this level into skin products. And people need to remember that everything you put on your skin ends up inside of your body. Like we don't realize that our skin, as our largest organ, it absorbs everything. So when you slather sunscreen with some of the harmful chemicals in it, your body's absorbing, your skin literally absorbs everything. So one of the herbs in there is ginkgo biloba. Ginkgo improves circulation and oxygenation. So if you think about improving circulation to your skin, that's very important. It has pata arco. Pata arco has a naturally occurring compound called quercetin, which is anti-inflammatory. It also has anti-cancer properties. It's also good for, like, pata arco in like a capsule or tincture form is used for Candida. So it's just really, really nourishing for the skin as well. There's cat's claw in there, which is powerful anti-inflammatory, powerful antioxidant. There's suma root. Suma is a very powerful adaptogen. So basically it will balance body chemistry. It helps to balance, regulate stress. And so, like I said, you think about where you're spreading oils and stuff on your skin, you put these powerful things on it, and with that are herbs, and it's amazing.
True. So you can absorb chemicals that are harmful, or
Right.
you can absorb actually like nutrition and like antioxidants, anti-inflammatory. So it's so great. I feel like I want to tie all these threads together a bit when you're talking about the parasites. I thought of it like, even if we try to eat well and stuff, like I've just did this big study on glyphosate, we're all being exposed to glyphosate.
Yeah.
Even when we don't try to be.
Yeah.
So we're all being exposed to toxins. So if we want to keep, that load down, we've got to think about our personal care.
Right.
And then, for like, I don't know where this stuff is coming from, this cancer diagnosis, these parasites, you really do need to think about toxins in every little step. And some women will say, oh, but I can't give up this beauty product or that beauty product. There's a solution for everything. And your product is amazing. I think it's a great value for how much you get.
Well, you get a ton. It's almost 2 full ounces. And oils, if you think about it, go a really long way. Because my goal is not to say, all right, here's a little bottle of the super nice serum and it's $200. You know what I mean? I mean, to me,
no, it's a little too, a friend of mine makes another one. Yeah, it's good, but it's so small. And I'm like,
and it's about providing value. I mean, we're here on this planet to help each other. it's not like I don't want to make a living, and I make a living, but I don't make multi-millions, and that's not my goal. I have grandkids that I enjoy. And to me, it's like, what can I do to provide value, make a living, and enjoy my life? You know what I mean? So to me, it's easy. To me, it's super easy.
Yeah. And as I can attest, for when you get older, you're able to put out a little money for your skin.
Oh, I'm willing. Yeah. Trust me. That's why the whole gold label came about, because I'm just like, if you do any research on black cumin seed oil, it's something that I actually take internally as well, and I put it in the serum and spread on my skin. There's things, and it's expensive, but yeah, bring it on.
Yeah. You're like, what is that rare thing that, yeah, totally. I haven't tried the gold yet. I think you were just coming out with it while I was ordering all this other batch. So I'll try that eventually, I'm sure.
Nice. It's
well,
really
thank you so much, Jane. Yeah, I was gonna mention your website, but anything else we missed before we wrap up?
No. I was glad my newsletter resonated with you, because it's kind of like when you put out this little bit of passion, and then somebody's like, yeah, it feels nice to have your thoughts just kind of validated,
Yeah, it does. You're not alone. Like we're all like, well, what do we do with this? What do we do with these pink ribbon cookies being sold? Like,
you just opt out. You just say no thanks. Kindly, lovingly. And the thing is, when you can do that, every person that empowers themselves and stops feeding into that machine, every person that does that, it makes a difference. Like people don't realize the difference that they can make.
Yeah. So your website is barlowherbal.com, right? And we have the serum on our site, Hormone Detox Shop. I'll put out a coupon code. I didn't think to do it before we started, but I'll put a coupon code out for the serum. We don't have the Parasite Cleanse on our site yet, but I'm wondering if I should add it. I thought it maybe could use a little supervision, but you guys don't have practitioners on staff, so you feel okay with it?
Oh yeah, no. It's powerful, but it's gentle. Like my grandkids are 5 and 7, and now they've started a yearly. They do a yearly cleanse
once a year. Okay.
Yeah. And they don't need us. You just take the dosage down. There we have a little video on. I have a YouTube channel, just Barlow Herbal, and there's a little video on there about how to dose herbal tinctures for kids. So.
I think my experience was a little rockier, and I think probably everyone's different. Like
I do too.
Yeah, I have a lot of mold, so I have a lot of Candida in my body. I think for me, like I have to kind of pair it with like probiotics and like kind of aloe and things that soothe. Or maybe I should have done lower dosage. I mean, I'm pretty small. Maybe I was doing too much. That's possible too, but it's good to know that you've got kids doing it.
Oh yeah, we've had kids doing it for decades. I mean, it was. Yeah, it's so you know what the thing is educate yourself and use your common sense, because our one of the things we spend so much time focusing on is education. Like we spend a lot of time educating people and making sure that people are empowered with the knowledge, because you can't just, that's why our stuff will never sit on a health food store shelf, because there's just too much education that's involved. So practitioners and people who can say, look, okay, you have this going on. But we do front load people who find us away from a practitioner setting. So we have lots of information, and the goal is to educate and then use your intuition and common sense. So
yeah, I love just like that you're getting, these tools out in the world. Like it's so important, like you said, just like empower our own health. So thank you for your mission. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on, even though I was really late to be.
That's okay. No, I'm glad I hung out. I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure she said.
You're like, we just planned this like yesterday.
Yeah, no, it's all good, Bridget. It's so nice to see your cute face.
Likewise. Let's keep in touch.
Okay.